Do you think the overall health of humanity and society has seen an incline or decline in our country in, let's say, the last 50 years? Do we have a healthy humanity and society today?
No.
Or society's is
not right. Not at this second. No.
Right.
No.
Well, it depends.
Depends on how much money you have.
No. Well, that's your opinion.
Yeah, depends on how much money you have. You see, like the mental health. There's absolutely no. Was it during Reagan? They closed down all the psychiatric facilities.
Yep.
Creating
the homeless problem.
Yeah, that are needed, and it created a huge homeless problem.
Send these guys out. Yep.
Yep. No, that they don't get the care they need because healthcare does not want to pay for like health insurance.
Right.
It doesn't want to pay for mental health
Mm-hmm.
or psychiatric health, or it just doesn't like to cover that. So our psychiatric problem has gone downhill. Unless you have a really good insurance.
So I think in the last 50 years, there's been a inclination, then a declination, then an inclination and a declination. It's just been like this for a long time because I think federal government at all levels, they sit there and they promise all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets everybody's hopes up. Yeah, that guy sounds good. That guy sounds blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden gets in, and then the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but before, just before all the smoke clears, here comes another smoke screen. And then, more hopes, and then, all of a sudden there's this big package of money real quick. And certain people get it and certain people don't. And that can be anything, be it healthcare, be it arts, for this thing or for that thing, it really doesn't matter. It all depended on who knew who.
Unless you're on a certain tax bracket,
playing with the strings. Exactly. But seeing the difference between then and now is like, dude, you're more awake now than you've ever been, this whole time. And it's only because I've seen such a drastic change in that incline and I've seen now it's just been kind of like this, going up and up and up and up. And then, still doing this because you're in uncharted territories.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know, you've never seen this before. Somebody finally said they were going to do this, and then all of a sudden it's like, what are they doing over there? Oh. They're building something. Oh, and then all of a sudden the level of crime in a certain area has gone down. Maybe it's up in certain areas, but in that one area where it was definitely bad, it's definitely getting better, where you don't hear about it as much.
Mm-hmm.
People have jobs. More people were working at one point than ever, and it affected everybody. Everybody just seemed to be in a much happier mood. At least, where I'm at, it's people had jobs. Your bosses weren't, and I think that really did something for the good of, for the good morale and basically everybody that you were associating with, or in our Central Oregon bubble, and then all of a sudden, all that stuff just got taken away just like that, real quick, and now it's, it sucks because I think about our kids. I think about my childhood a lot, and I think about my children right now, and what are they growing up doing?
Yep, I know.
Turning into a bunch of psychopaths because they don't leave the house.
And that's why there's like some of these questions are just curiosity, because I don't have kids, but I'm like,
I think
is it looking good for them?
No,
it's not.
They don't have a social interaction, so they're all going to turn into a bunch of sociopaths.
I think a lot of things are up in the air right now.
Turn into, like the healthcare thing. It's like a lot of the homeless population is veterans, and the VA doesn't cover a lot of psychiatric care.
Until recently.
Until recently. So you have all these older homeless, homeless population that's never gotten the care since the 70s when they came home.
Right.
So.
And they've been sitting that way for quite some time now.
It's been years. It's not going to change anytime soon. And then you have all the private healthcare where you have to pay extra just to get certain things. Like, it's not. Our healthcare is shit.
Do you think the overall health of the people has seen an incline or decline in the last?
I think it's a decline.
50 years.
I think it's kind of both.
I'd have to agree with her on that because you got your mental health and you have your physical health.
There's two healths that you have to concern.
Physical health as a whole, I believe, has gotten better.
No.
Okay.
I think it has gotten better. I think it's gone down. It has its up and, like the market, up and down, up and down.
Sure.
But generally, I think it's been healthier.
Okay.
It's been healthier. Mentally, that can be a loaded question. That could be a really big loaded question.
Like since they started making everything technologically advanced, people don't know how to talk to other people anymore.
Right.
Like,
human interaction.
Yeah, there's like less human interaction. So people are just like,
right. We're losing connection. The more we can connect, we're losing connection.
Yeah, which makes not only your psychological, but also God, Lord, words, but also your emotional health. It's all going downhill. Your physical health might be going up, but it's like everything's on this. You're on pause. Like you can't even go talk to a doctor right now unless it's over the phone.
Zoom.
Zoom on FaceTime.
I can tell you right now that my mental health has definitely taken a decline. Some days I have my good days, sometimes I have my really, really shitty days, and it's because of the environment right now. When you feel like you're being systematically forced into something, when your entire life you live in the best country on the planet,
fighting for our freedoms.
A lot of people had to die and are dying in order to keep flying that flag out there. And that it's more than a flag, it's a symbol. It's bigger than any one person.
Right.
And I felt like for a little bit there, and I still do, that we are coming together as a country. The media just doesn't want you to know it.
No, they don't.
Right. No.
The media just doesn't want you to know it, and they have their own agenda tied in with another agenda.
It seems like their agenda is division.
Exactly.
Keep us divided.
Exactly. And that right there, 3 out of the last 4 years were awesome. People were starting to come together again, just like they did after 9/11.
Okay.
Now, of course, you have the certain communities where it's like, okay, whatever, that's your opinion, have at it.
Sure.
But I thought it was coming together, and then all of a sudden there was that last ditch effort in that 4th year where it's like, drop the COVID, release the China virus.
Right.
Who knows where it came from? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I mean, it does and it doesn't. But again, that's another interview.
Right. That's the political interview.
But the bottom line is there was a huge.
I'll not be involved in that one.
There was a huge divisive energy that just came and parted the seas in which we were just finally starting to get our rhythm.
You're either supposed to believe this way that we want you to believe, or you don't. And if you don't believe it, then you're a piece of shit. That's basically what they're telling us.
Right.
And that places a huge mental breakdown in a lot of people's.
No.
It doesn't matter what ocean you're in.
Right.
It becomes a lot harder for everybody to tread.